Good Monday morning. Well, we enter back into this mystery woman of Babylon. And remember last week we touched on her just a bit, and even to the way of how she is adorned, which I thought was really interesting. She's adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, and yet she's holding this cup of abomination, it says. And I thought about that, and I thought, isn't that how sin works? It looks appealing, it looks convenient, it looks available, it looks beautiful, it comes packaged as something that is so enticing, and yet we're never told of the real cost until we experience the consequences after. The enemy never told Adam and Eve the cost of their disobedience. All he did was make that fruit look so appealing because he appealed to the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. And that's what this mystery woman Babylon will do to this entire culture. She's doing it to the culture now. The system is present now, but it also says that she's drunk on the blood of the saints, meaning very clearly that she has taken pleasure, the Spirit has taken pleasure in their martyrdom. She has taken pleasure in the sacrificing of their lives and in the spilling of their bloods. And there's a high price to pay for the martyrdom of God's saints. That is truth that I know. It goes on and continues here in verse 6. When I saw her, and this is John speaking, when I saw her, I wondered in amazement. But the angel said to me, why do you wonder? I will explain to you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carries her, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns. But the beast that you saw was once, but now is not. He is about to come out of the abyss, the bottomless pit, the dwelling place of demons, and go to destruction, to perdition. And the inhabitants of the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life, this is capital B here, meaning the book of those who have given their hearts to Jesus, from the foundation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because he was and is not and is yet to come to earth. So here is the mind which has wisdom, and this is what it knows about the vision. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman sits, and they are 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen, 1 exists and is reigning. The other, the 7th, has not yet come, and when he does come, he must remain a little while. And the beast that once was but is not is himself also an 8th king, and is one of the 7, and he goes to destruction, to perdition. The 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, but together they receive authority as kings for a single hour, for a common purpose along with the beast. These kings have one purpose, one mind, one common goal, and they give their power and authority to the beast. Okay, that's a lot. We'll unpack it in a minute. They will wage war against the Lamb, Christ, and the Lamb will triumph and conquer them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him and on his side are the called, chosen, elect, and faithful. Then the angel said to me, the waters which you saw where the prostitute is seated are peoples and multitudes and nations and languages. And the 10 horns which you saw and the beast, these will hate the prostitute and will make her desolate and naked, stripped of her power and influence, and will eat her flesh and completely consume her with fire. For God has put it in their hearts to carry out his purpose by agreeing together to surrender their kingdom to the beast until the prophetic words of God will be fulfilled. The woman who you saw is the great city, which reigns over and dominates and controls the kings and the political leaders of the earth. So Remember how the Antichrist arose? He was mortally wounded. He goes into the abyss. Some believe at that moment he rises and is indwelt with Satan. That's kind of what this moment is propagating to us, that it will be Satan that's coming back to indwell the Antichrist. And remember how the kings of the earth come and give to him their power. And so as they come and give the Antichrist their power, he brings with him, if you will, his own one world government. And it's why I talked about a few weeks ago that believers are resistant to a one world government, because they know in the end times it will be a one world government that will rule and reign, but it will only reign for a little while. That's why it said this is only for a short season. It's just going to rise up and then for the season of the tribulation and then going to be quickly destroyed. But the water represents the fact that its influence is going to go to the entire earth. And it's going to happen so quickly, and it's just going to cover the earth until it all culminates at the Battle of Armageddon in this place of Megiddo that we have talked about. They will think they are controlling what they are doing, but all that is happening is they are serving God's purposes for his final say. Seiss says this in his book, The Apocalypse. And I'll close with this. Where spiritual harlotry occupies the place of true worship of God, there is desolation. There may be riches and worldly glory as here. There may be the fullness of power and dominion. There may be purpose and scarlet and gold and gems of stone and pearls and drink from golden cups. There may be luxury, sumptuous living, pomp, display, and everything to delight the sensual heart. And yet, where the word, where worship, and institutes of God are trampled underfoot, it is wilderness. For a world system like this to be able to come to power, it, like everything else, goes that way progressively. And we're seeing that progression now. Remember in John 10:10 where it says the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy? That is progression. That's how the enemy operates. He always operates in progression. And he has been coming to our culture over and over with immorality, with idolatry, with false doctrine and religion and philosophies taught. And now it culminates in this moment, because when the word and when worship and when the institutes of God are trampled on, you can rest assured there you will find a wilderness. And Babylon will be that wilderness in the final days. But just when they think they are the ones controlling the ship, they will realize that God is the one who has been determining the course from the very beginning of time.